What's up, Seanan?
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm up on the deck. This is great.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
But not only you just up on the deck, we're all new entrants to the Marvel family.
Yeah.
So this is a new.
For
They
sure.
gave the newbies the deck, y'all.
We're not giving it back.
No,
No,
we
I
are
like- ooh, I
not
like that. We're not giving it back. You hear
We've
that?
taken over the treehouse. We have passwords. We're not giving it back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
How has your Comic-Con been so far? Where people are screaming behind us
They're
right
so
now.
They're having an amazing
Are they
time.
setting fires down there?
No,
What's
they
going
just
on?
heard you were here.
I'm having a wonderful time. I always have a great time at Comic-Con. So
What is your favorite thing about Comic-Con? If you had to put a finger on it, what is your favorite thing?
honestly, the exhibit hall. I start at the beginning. We come in that first door and we just go up and down the aisles till we finish it. Takes about 3 days. You get very zen.
Ooh.
You have to, because you can't fight the crowd. The crowd's going to take you where it wants to go, and you see amazing stuff while you're on your
I just
way.
have to
this is like a
go with
Comic-Con
it.
pro giving
I
us
like
all the
this.
tips
I
right
like
now.
this,
man.
Been doing it since I was 16.
Speaking of 16, so you are now on X-Men.
Yes.
Oh my God, you're so happy.
I am. People, a couple of the news sites made fun of me for being over enthusiastic on Twitter, and I just had to go, do you understand? I have been telling people this is what I was going to do when I grew up since I was 7 years old.
And there's actually a special story about your comic book store you used to go to when you were a kid.
Yeah, Flying Colors Comics and other cool stuff in Pleasant Hill, California. Joe Field, who runs it, he's also the guy that created Free Comic Book Day. So he's always lived this philosophy of comic books are for everyone, and he wants everyone to have access. So when this weird little girl came in his store and said, I want comic books, he didn't show me the strawberry shortcakes. He said, I think you'll like the X-Men. And just started handing them to me.
That's a good comic book owner.
It
That's a good
is.
comic
He's
book store
great.
owner.
And you made a
It's
promise,
the best.
right?
I promised him that when, not if, but when I got to write the X-Men. I was a very arrogant little child.
I'm confident. Assertive.
But I promised him that I would come back and do my very first signing in his store, and I'm doing my very first signing in his store on August 1st. I don't even live in that state anymore. I'm flying back just to sign comic books for Joe.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, the trustworthiness, you kept your end of the deal there, you
Oh,
know?
yeah. Well,
I
and-
love that.
Marvel's been super great about it because they actually held the announcement
Really?
of my first X-Men issue long enough for me to fly to California and surprise him when they opened the store.
That is so amazing.
It was
That's a
so good.
wonderful
He
story.
cried.
Right? I would cry too.
I cried too. We all
Right?
cried. It
How
was
can you
terrible.
all
not?
cry.
Now, the book is X-Men Gold Annual number 2.
Right.
I'm a big fan of this because I was a big fan of the Gold and Blue team. Growing up, I loved
Oh, yeah.
that separation of the two teams hanging out. So tell us a bit about the story and what we can expect.
Well, so this is sort of a flashback story. It fits into a hole in the continuity, and it's Kitty Pryde when she's 15, so she's new to the team. The New Mutants haven't happened yet. The Brood saga hasn't happened yet. She's only recently come out of Days of Future Past, deciding, I want 5 minutes to breathe and figure out, is this all I'm going to be? Am I just going to be a superhero? Am I going to let being a mutant define me? I'm going to summer camp. I'm out, peace. And so she goes off to summer camp, and things happen there. And I've written about 30 novels. I'm very prolific. It is the most emotionally draining thing I've ever done, because
Really?
I sat there the whole time going, this is canon. These trees I'm describing in this panel,
Yeah.
those are canonical trees. Other X-Men writers will have to contend with those trees.
Yeah.
So it was overwhelming but wonderful.
Oh yeah, I'm sure, and I think that's such an amazing story because we always see the superheroes, the Marvel heroes, having these epic battles and adventures, and when you realize at some point you have to sit down and go, man, what a Tuesday that was,
Right?
right? Man, Galactus, what a guy, right?
There was a point when all of the X-women just went to the mall and spent the day buying dresses and getting massages and eating dinner and acquiring Jubilee as sort of a free souvenir of the day. And you ask people, and that's a lot of folks' favorite issue.
Yeah.
Because you got to see them breathe.
And it's relatable.
Yeah.
It's relatable to see
Exactly.
these characters just living their lives outside of these costumes and
Yeah.
claws
Yeah.
and optic beams and stuff like that.
Yeah, it makes the battles mean more when you know that they have lives outside of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Speaking of lives outside, you are a fan of poisonous reptiles.
I am.
Which I think makes you a herpetologist,
That is correct.
a venomous herpetologist.
I am not specifically venomous
Right.
myself, which is probably good for the rest of the world, because I would be a supervillain in short order.
Right? Where did this come from?
I
mean-
like snakes.
Yeah?
I grew up in California in the shadow of a mountain called Mount Diablo, which is a wildlife park.
Okay.
And we had rattlesnakes, and we had lizards, and we had non-rattlesnakes, and frogs and toads, and I just brought them all home and put them in the bathroom. Living with me was a great adventure.
I can only imagine. I just think that that's super rad, and I don't know. I think we, of course, we talk about comics and X-Men, and that's rad. But I think it's also cool that as people are like getting to know you, that like you're into poisonous reptiles.
I am
so
into
amazing.
poisonous reptiles. The tarantula migration used to come through my yard.
What?
I'm sorry.
Tarantula migration.
Time out.
Yeah.
Wait. There is a migration of tarantulas.
Well, they gotta get somewhere. It gets cold and they gotta go.
I mean, yeah, but all I see is like elephants on parade. I see tarantulas
it is,
on
it
parade.
is.
Song?
Yeah.
Yeah, every couple
Tarantulas
of
on
years, mating season comes around, and all of the bachelor tarantulas decide that they need to have one wild night, and they come down off Mount Diablo, and you get between 300 and 800 tarantulas just sort of tarantulaing around. They closed my elementary school a couple times because the tarantula migration was in the parking lot. You couldn't get the kids to school.
Wow.
Come through the house.
I had no idea
that sort of fun
tarantulas could
thing.
upset life
Oh, yeah.
so much. Like,
Yeah.
I also hear that you like alligators, though.
I
Because I
do.
have to scurry off of this tarantula because I'm literally physically like.
I'm sorry. It's okay.
But alligators, we can
Alligators
talk
are
about all
great.
day.
Alligators are
Why do you
wonderful.
want to say
You
Bachelor
can.
Tarantula is a great band name?
Bachelor Tarantula is a great band name.
Bachelor Tarantula.
They should be opening for the Mary Janes.
You're just creating careers left and right. Now you can book events. I like that.
Dropping knowledge and ideas and walking. The zen of the Comic-Con is paying off for you.
Now you
Yeah,
also
it is.
enjoy swamps.
I do.
I have not been to a swamp before.
What?
How have you never been to a
I'm
swamp?
from New York City. We don't have.
You have cranberry
swamps.
bogs.
That old bog. I forget. I don't know anywhere any swamps are.
Bogs?
That old bog.
I'm
I
going to
had no
be in
idea
New
we'd be
York in
talking about
October. Look me
biomes
up. I will take
on
you
the
to a
deck today.
swamp.
I will
happening.
live tweet my swamp excursion.
It'll be
My
great.
swamp
We
venture.
will
I
have-
really feel
we'll
like
have
it
a
needs to
good
be
time.
live streamed.
I'll live stream the
No,
swamp.
that's how you start a Blair Witch movie. You don't take
Yeah,
a live
I'd like to-
stream
I'd
of
like
the
to come
swamp.
back from the swamp, please.
Oh, me too. I would also like to come back from the swamp.
So you just came back from New Orleans.
Yeah, I was just in New Orleans for the American Library Association conference.
Yes, and there were some alligator.
There were some alligators. I went out on a herpetological survey where we get in these little boats and we row out into the swamp.
Justin is so excited right now.
We row out into the swamp with coolers full of raw chicken and sticks, and you put the raw chicken on the stick, and then you hit the water until the alligators come, and then you count the alligators. And that was a wonderful way to spend a very early morning. The herpetologist picked me up from my hotel at 3 a.m. and we drove out. And I was having breakfast with my publicist that morning around 10, and she says, "Oh, are you going to meet up with those herpetologist friends of yours?" "Oh, we did it last night at 3 a.m.
When you said herpetological survey, I was expecting how do you feel about swamps on a scale of like 1 to 10? Feeling very good. No,
Big,
no.
like a big,
No,
big,
you-
big
you go
smile
out in
means
a boat.
really happy.
Yeah.
Small smile means not so pleased.
Not so much.
You just go out and you count them. And we had a 15-foot alligator try to get into a 10-foot boat.
Wow.
And that
Just
was
like
the
they
best
do.
thing that happened at that entire conference.
Where are you from again?
California, originally. Now I'm in Washington State.
Wow. They broke the mold on you, my friend.
But,
My mother says something similar.
Yeah.
but now all I can picture is you and Justin having a great show, and they're being involved in alligator dish, in which you would then
Yeah,
invite
alligator
me.
is delicious.
Alligator is so tasty.
And I
So-
can help
If
catch
I
the
can serve
alligator.
Ryan Python, I'm pretty sure anything in the herpetological the subsect of food,
Yeah.
I could handle.
I'll go out and find the alligator. We can use him as bait to catch
I'm
the
sorry,
alligator.
Nope, nope, nope.
You
I
can
didn't
cook
agree
the
to be
alligator,
bait.
and
You're gonna
she'll
put me on
help
the end of
eat
a
the
stick. You're
alligator.
gonna put me on the end of a stick and slap the water with me.
Yes, I am.
Which I would not mind.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Yeah, it sounds like a blast. So you are you're everything. You've come in. We've talked about spiders. Talked
Spiders,
about
yeah.
you have funny stories about animals, and you tell amazing stories about people. What is this? You always wanted to do this.
Yeah, my whole life. This is what I've wanted to do. I found out that people wrote stories when I was about 7, which is when I decided I was going to write the X-Men, and have been very firm on that's what I'm going to be when I grow up. My entire life. I'm a little afraid that this means I have to finally admit I grew up, but hopefully I can get away without it.
You're only as old as you feel inside.
Exactly.
So if you're still that, I can kind of still see that little girl like being very, very happy.
I'm so happy. It's really unreasonable how happy I am.
You know what? Never be sorry for being happy.
How many
That's
people
fair.
can say what I want to be when I grow up, and they stay with it until it's a reality?
Yeah. My mom has a picture of me with my Spider-Man comics when I was 8, just and I'll find it and put it online. But I'm just crying because Gwen Stacy had been thrown off a bridge, and I said I would fix it someday.
Oh.
And I get to.
Yeah.
So we're doing well. I'm placating my inner child a little bit at a time.
I think your inner child is doing well. Well, Seanan, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for
You
having
are maybe the most fascinating person I've ever met in my life.
You need to get out more.
I do. I know. We'll get to the swamp.
Yeah, the swamp. We
Nice.
will. I'm going to ping you in October. We will
Please, yes.
go.